Good morning. Today we need to have a serious conversation. It's about something that affects us all, especially those living near our beautiful coastlines. We are talking about tsunamis. These are not just giant waves you see in movies. They are a real and powerful force of nature. Understanding this threat is the very first step toward keeping you and your loved ones safe. It's about being informed, not afraid. Knowledge gives us the power to act, to prepare, and to protect ourselves. So let's lean in and listen closely, because what we discuss today could truly make all the difference. The ocean is a source of immense beauty and joy for so many of us. It brings us peace and recreation, but we must also respect its incredible power. A tsunami can transform a calm shoreline into a scene of devastation in just a matter of minutes. This is not meant to scare you, but to awaken a sense of awareness. We have seen the heartbreaking impact of tsunamis in the past, in places like Japan and Indonesia. Those events taught the world some very hard lessons about the importance of being ready. We owe it to the memory of those affected to learn from the past and prepare for the future. Think of this as a safety briefing, just like the ones you hear on an airplane. The crew tells you where the exits are and how to use the oxygen mask, not because they expect a problem, but because they want you to be ready if one occurs. That is exactly our goal today. We want to give you the information you need to create a safety plan for your family. We want you to know what to look for, what to do, and where to go. Being prepared doesn't mean living in fear. It means living with confidence, knowing you have the tools to handle a difficult situation. So, as we begin this important discussion, I ask you to open your hearts and your minds. Let's put aside the distractions for a little while and focus on this together. The information we are about to share is based on science, expert advice, and lessons learned from real-life events. It is practical, it is important, and it is for everyone. Whether you live right on the beach or are planning a vacation to the coast, this message is for you. Your safety is what matters most, and that safety begins right now with knowledge and a simple plan. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is a tsunami? The word tsunami comes from the Japanese language meaning harbor wave. It's a fitting name because these waves show their true destructive power when they reach the coast and flood into harbors and low-lying land. A tsunami is not a single wave but a series of powerful waves, often called a wave train. These waves can travel across the entire ocean at incredible speeds, as fast as a jet airplane. It's this immense energy, traveling silently beneath the surface of the water, that makes them so incredibly dangerous and different from regular ocean waves. Now, you might be wondering what causes these powerful waves to form. Most tsunamis are caused by large earthquakes under the ocean floor. Imagine the seafloor suddenly shifting up or down during a quake. This movement displaces a massive amount of water above it, pushing it up and creating a wave that spreads outward in all directions. Think of it like dropping a huge stone into a pond. Ripples spread out from where the stone hit. A submarine earthquake does something similar, but on a much larger scale. It's this sudden, violent push that gives a tsunami its initial powerful start. But earthquakes aren't the only cause. While they are the most common trigger, other events can also generate a tsunami. A large underwater landslide, where a huge amount of sediment and rock suddenly slides down a slope on the seafloor, can also displace a lot of water and create waves. A major volcanic eruption, especially from a volcano located on an island or near the coast, can cause the land to collapse into the ocean, triggering a tsunami. In very rare cases, even a large meteorite impacting the ocean could cause one. The key ingredient is always the same: a sudden displacement of a massive volume of water. It's also important to understand why tsunamis are so different from the waves you see at the beach every day. Normal waves are created by wind blowing across the ocean's surface. They are usually just on the surface and have a relatively short distance between them. A tsunami is completely different. Its energy extends deep into the ocean. Out in the deep sea, a tsunami wave might be only a few feet high and not even noticeable to ships. But as it approaches shallow water near the coast, the incredible energy starts to push the water upward, creating a towering, fast-moving wall of water that can crash ashore with devastating force. Now, let's talk about the year 2025 and why it's on the minds of some scientists and safety officials. It's important to state clearly, no one can predict the exact time and place an earthquake will happen. However, scientists can and do monitor areas of high seismic activity. They study fault lines, which are cracks in the Earth's crust where tectonic plates meet. One area of particular concern is the Cascadia subduction zone, a massive fault line that runs for about 600 miles off the coast of the Pacific Northwest, from Northern California to British Columbia. This area is known to produce very large earthquakes called megathrust earthquakes. Experts have studied geological evidence like soil samples and ancient tree rings, and have found that the Cascadia subduction zone has a history of producing major earthquakes and tsunamis every few hundred years. The last major event on this fault line happened in the year 1700. Doing the math, you can see that we are within the window of time when another large event could be due. Scientists are not saying a tsunami will happen in 2025 for certain. Instead, they are raising awareness that the conditions are present and that the pressure between the plates has been building for over 300 years, making a large earthquake a very real possibility. The concern is that if a major megathrust earthquake, say a magnitude 9.0, were to occur along this fault, it would create a massive tsunami. This tsunami would strike the coasts of Washington, Oregon, and Northern California within just 15 to 30 minutes. That is a very short amount of time to receive an official warning and evacuate to higher ground. This is why the conversation is so urgent. The potential for a major event in a densely populated region makes preparation absolutely critical. The experts' warnings are a call to action, a plea for us to take the threat seriously and prepare ourselves now, before the ground starts to shake. So, the 2025 warning is less of a specific prediction and more of a heightened state of alert. It's a reminder from the scientific community that we live on a dynamic planet and that certain regions carry higher risks. These experts are using advanced technology, like GPS sensors and seafloor monitors, to watch for any changes in the Earth's crust. Their message is not to cause panic, but to foster respect for the science and to motivate people, communities, and governments to strengthen their preparedness plans. It's about turning scientific concern into practical, life-saving action for everyone who lives, works, or visits these beautiful but vulnerable coastal areas. Section 4. Nature's Alarms. Recognizing the warning signs of a tsunami. Official warnings from authorities are crucial, but sometimes, honestly, a tsunami can arrive before any message gets to you. The first and most important sign is a strong earthquake. If you are in a coastal area and you feel an earthquake that is so strong it's hard to stand up, or one that lasts for 20 seconds or longer, that is your signal. Do not wait for a siren or a phone alert. The earthquake itself is the warning. You must act immediately. Another major warning sign is a sudden change in the ocean's behavior. You might see the ocean level suddenly drop, exposing the seafloor far beyond the normal low tide line. It might look strange and fascinating with fish flapping on the newly exposed sand, but this is an extremely dangerous sign. It means the tsunami is pulling water out before the first massive wave comes crashing back in. This phenomenon is called a drawback. Your instinct should not be to go look, but to run in the opposite direction, toward higher ground, as fast as you can. The other way the ocean might behave unusually is by rising rapidly, like a fast-moving flood, but without a big breaking wave at first. Or, you might hear a strange and loud noise coming from the sea. Survivors of past tsunamis have often described this sound as a loud roar, similar to a freight train or a jet engine. This unusual sound is another one of nature's alarms. If you hear a roar that you've never heard before coming from the ocean, especially after feeling an earthquake, you must assume a tsunami is coming. Trust your senses. If something feels, looks, or sounds wrong, act immediately. To summarize, these are the 3 key natural warnings to remember. First, a strong or long earthquake. Second, a sudden and unusual fall or rise in sea level. Third, a loud and strange roar from the ocean. Any one of these signs is a signal to take immediate action. Move to high ground or as far inland as you can, as quickly as possible. Don't waste time gathering belongings. Your life is more important than your possessions. Knowing these natural signs means you don't have to rely on technology. It means you are empowered to save your own life and the lives of those around you. Section 7, a shared responsibility. Why talking about safety saves lives. But the most important message I can leave you with is this. Communication is your most powerful tool. Listening to warnings from scientists and emergency officials is not optional. It is a critical part of the survival chain. These experts dedicate their lives to understanding these threats and keeping us safe. When they issue a warning, it is based on the best science available. We must listen, and we must act on those warnings without delay. This responsibility, however, does not end with just listening. We have a shared responsibility to talk about this with the people we care about. Have you had this conversation with your family? Do your children know what to do if they feel an earthquake at school? Does your elderly neighbor have a plan? These conversations can be uncomfortable, but they are essential. Making a plan together, packing a go bag together, and practicing an evacuation route together builds what we call muscle memory. It makes the safety plan real and helps everyone respond more effectively when it matters most. Talking about it is the first step to surviving it. Think of it as a gift you give to your community. When you are prepared, you are not only helping yourself, but you are also in a better position to help others around you. A prepared community is a resilient community. When more people know what to do, there is less panic and confusion. Emergency responders can focus on those who are most in need. By taking these steps, you become part of the solution. You become a link in a chain of safety that protects your entire neighborhood. This sense of community and shared responsibility is what sees us through the most difficult of times. So please let this conversation be the start of many more. Take what you have learned today and share it. Put the plans into action. Don't let this be something you think about for a day and then forget. The threat from a tsunami is real, especially in vulnerable coastal areas. But our ability to prepare, to communicate, and to act together is even more powerful. Your safety and the safety of your family and your community is in your hands. Let's all pledge to be ready, to be informed, and to look out for one another. Thank you for listening.